First order of business, build a chicken coop. Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are going to be unboxing Stardew Valley. This is the third printing, I guess you could call it third edition. I believe that they have made some minor improvements to the rule book, and I'm not sure at what point they included a second insert that we're going to see here. So just wanted to show off something that I really just appreciated seeing, and that is this was printed and assembled in the USA. So I think more of this should be happening. I think we just rely on China too much for stuff like this. Anyways, this is, if you are not familiar, this is a board game based on the video game slash computer game slash app. Stardew Valley is one of those farming kind of community building simulators where you can essentially do whatever you want. You kind of have a fatigue level that you have to manage throughout the day, but if you want to go mining for gold, you go mining for gold. If you want to raise chickens, you raise chickens. If you want to go make a ton of friends, you go make a ton of friends. If you want to spend all day fishing, you spend all day fishing. Yes, there are some like objectives in the game, but you don't have to follow them. There's no failing Stardew Valley. So it's a very popular game. This is a cooperative game. It says here of farming and friendship. You can play it solo, but it's one that I will probably play multi-handed. But I'm also hoping to play this with my children because my two sons are very much, they have the Nintendo Switch version. So, all right. See, here we go. Here is the new tray that basically is just going to hold everything else other than the seasonal tiles. Okay, so this must be a bigger tray, a completely different tray. Anyways, some strategies and tips. All right, welcome to Stardew Valley. Here we have, this is the instruction book. I have read through this. Okay, yeah, we still have this, aka the supply, and then we have this organizer. So this is the new one, and I'm not sure whether or not this one was in the first edition or not. So, but the third edition is out, is available. I don't know for how long. I do know that there's a lot of people waiting for the third edition of this to come out, and we're ready to go. So there's the rule book. We have a whole bunch of nicely illustrated tiles here. Everything on here appears to be stuff you will fish for. So you can see that the various shapes and color codes here tells you which area, whether the mountain lake, the river, or the beach, the ocean, is where you're fishing them. Things like lobster and crab can be caught in crab pots. Everything else you're just kind of rolling dice and hoping to match the appropriate symbols down here, like 3 hearts or 2 jojumi people. You can also occasionally get trash, and you can occasionally get treasure. And the backside, for these is particularly are all the same because you're going to be drawing these out of a bag. All right, now we have some crops. So these crops are all color coded. You can see these all here are pink. Then we have green and orange. Spring, summer, fall. There are no winter crops. And we have some eggs down here. These are not crops. These are animal products. But when you plant crops, you have to plant based on what season it is. All right, and I believe the backside should be the upgraded versions. Yes. So you'll notice that, oh no, wait, these were the upgraded versions, sorry. These all have the stars on the side because they become worth more. So you would start with them on this side. There we go. All right, then we have, there's lots of tiles, which is why the organizer is so essential. So these are kind of connected together, which is fine. I just have them upside down. So we've got some more fish. We have some trees. Basically, you can get lumber from them. They're always lumber. They're always wood on the backside. There you can see, backside is wood. But they just help change the aesthetics of the board by putting them out there. Also, you can have things like stone, bug meat, those don't change, but then you have these geodes, which once you crack them open, could become things like copper ore, iron ore, iridium ore. And this, you don't just flip the tile over, you're actually, again, rolling dice to see what you might randomly get. And then everything here that has a mushroom on it is forageable, so as you're moving around the map, you can pick these up, and these will all be face down. You'll notice that they are also color-coded. Look at the backside here. It's kind of tricky. But there's the backside. So, you know, spring, summer, fall, winter, forageables. You walk by, pick up something random. Here we have more animal products. So if you have goats, you could get goat's milk, duck feathers, eggs we already saw. And then here we have our minerals, and on the backside are artifacts. So this is the other things that are going to be drawn out of a bag along with the fish. And so you'll be told whether you gained an artifact or a mineral. You'll basically draw one token and flip it to whatever side is necessary. That way you only have to have one extra bag instead of two. Everybody's going to get a player board that's going to be able to hold various things here. And this is the first player token. Here's some more artifacts. Money, we will be gaining money throughout the game to spend. And hearts is not, you can't take damage in this game, don't worry. But you can make friends with the villagers, and as you make more friends, that will enable you to unlock more stuff in the community center. So here's, that was the back side of the board. Here's what your side of the board would look like. So if you choose the fishing profession, you would put your starting tools here. This is how many items you can hold, 2 extra items. These are how many tiles you can hold. Here's the items you can hold and the upgrades you can hold. Lots, like I said, lots and lots of tiles in this game. So very fortunate to have a storage system for all of them. All right, so these blue ones are the Joja tiles. Joja is the corporation, the big box corporation that is kind of the enemy in the game, both the board game and the video game. In the board game, they really are just kind of a nuisance, and these tiles will come out and just make it harder to do things at certain locations. They don't cover up the space, but you know, here it says like bundles require 1 additional donation. When you take the water action, only move 1 crop tile. You can remove them for a fee, or you can just deal with them. In the video game, you're trying to, expose, defeat the Joja Corporation. Here we have buildings that can be built, and then if you build the correct, here you can see required, you have to have the barn to do cows, goats, and rabbits. Yeah, no, what is that animal? Goats and sheep. Cows, goats, and sheep need a barn. Chickens, bunnies, ducks need the coop. And so these are buildings that you can build. Once you've built them, then you can bring in up to like 2 cows, up to 2 chickens, and so on and so forth. And they also have a loved side. So if you befriend your animals, you pet them, you treat them nicely, they're going to produce better goods. Here is just more of the same stuff. Here's the other 2 professions, foraging and mining. So this is a 1 to 4 player game, and everybody has a unique profession that makes that thing easier. So if you're the foraging profession, you can forage, or like mining, you can like re-roll dice when you're mining, things like that. All right. Whew. This is where your crops are going to go. So you'll have a spring, summer, fall, and then I believe down here go your geodes. I've seen wooden versions of this on Etsy. Depending on how popular this game becomes in my house, we might splurge for that. But this is perfectly fine for now. We have a board, which I'm going to set off to the side here because it is probably going to be too big for the frame. We have our bags, so your fish are going to go in the blue bag. Your artifacts and minerals will go in the gray bag. We have a whole bunch of cards, both large and small. And then we have our dice. So you can see some of them are like the forageable symbols, the plant symbols, and some of them are the animal symbols. There's 3 of each. So it's I think the animal dice and the Stardew dice, but these are unique D6s. They're a decent size. They're a little small compared to most dice sizes, but they're functional. You can easily read the graphics. And then here are your player pawns. This is the only thing I feel like they could have done a little better on. These are just very generic player pawn pieces. Gives me the clue vibe, certainly. But yeah, these are your pawn pieces. You can be red, yellow, blue, or green, and then the purple one is one of you. If you're playing more than one player, one of you can marry someone and have a spouse, and your spouse gives you additional actions. So quite an important action to take. I know that if I play with my sons, they will not wanting to do that themselves. All right, and here we go. That should be it. But just one thing, this has some nice space around it, so you can easily pull this out if you wanted to. More than likely, though, you can probably just keep this in the box and off to the side. All right, so let's take a look at the board first. Here's the board. You can see that it very much is reminiscent of like the map view or zoomed out view from Stardew Valley, if you're familiar with the game, the digital video game. And this is a worker placement game at the end of the day. So there's going to be Grandpa's objectives up here, 4 that you need to complete, and then there's going to be each of the community center rooms that you have to reveal the bundle and then complete the bundle. And so you'll have 6 here, and that's how you win the game. You have to do all of that before you run out of season cards, which are going to be down here. You'll be flipping over a card at the beginning of each round, and there's 4 rounds per season, so 16 rounds. Gives you the ability to, if you can do all that, you win the game. So your objectives are going to be up there at the top, and then here is your home. So you're going to come back here at the end of every day, and you have some actions that you can take as your end of turn effects, but you can also stay here and take actions. You can collect from your animals, and you can water your crops. This is where your crops are going to go. Or you can place your pawn out in any one of these kind of groupings of locations, and you're allowed to take 2 actions on your turn, and you can move. You can either stay in the same area and take 2 actions, or you can take an action, move, and then take another action. The trick is you can only move like one along one road here, and also moving is how you get the forageables. So you can see where the forageables are going to appear, and as long as you have walked past an adjacency to that token, you can pick it up. And here's where the trees are going to go to get wood. So lots and lots of options here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different choices of places to go. That's quite a bit for what you would think would be a very lightweight game based on the IP. I will get into all of these different locations during my how to play video, but this is essentially where you would go to open your geodes. You roll on this table. This is going to house your mine level and the map of the mine. And then down here closer to the bottom, this is where your fish are going to be, and this is where, if you donate to the museum, it would go right here. So we already saw lots of tiles. There's also lots of cards in the game. Let's just go through some of these. This is the example of a villager who you could befriend. So there's the backside of the villager cards, and this just tells you, what their preferred gift is. So in order for them to join your group, you have to give them a gift to befriend them. So you can give them most anything, but this girl will not accept crops or artifacts. If you happen to have milk, that's what you would really love. And if you happen to find her in fall, which it is random, then you would get an additional heart. But gaining hearts is how you go to the community center and unlock those packages to see, or bundles, to see if what you need to contribute. Also, this little shell here signifies she is somebody you could marry, and then certain events throughout each round will give you the opportunity to have someone give you a gift, and if she gives you a gift, it would be one random mineral. So again, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can see here there is various, and like I don't know why Caroline cannot be married, or Clint. There's like the dwarf here, that somewhat makes sense, but I guess those two guys are too old, but lots of fun characters here, and this type of stuff is easily something that you could see in a future expansion. So what I guess I really should have started on here was these cards. So here is some of the Grandpa's objectives, but these are going to be your events at the beginning of each round, and there is numerous events. You will mix these up and draw randomly. Each season has events that could be mixed in there, so like the essentially Easter or Flower Festival. For the most part, they're going to look like this. Also, if you're playing your first game, you're going to want to include the ones that have the little JoJo guy here. But this basically says, all right, it's raining during this round, so water your crops. This would move the first player, which doesn't have huge implications. And then this means you can buy and sell crops. There's a double water one. Here, this means the fishing track gets updated. The stars means that you can flip one crop to its better side. This is an event, like a different event that we'll see. And that's pretty much most of it. Here, this is when the Joja tiles come out, which creates a bad thing. And so all of these are different. You know, obviously you're going to get less rain in the summer, more rain in the spring, things like that. So, and then at the end of every season, you see there's even a winter festival there. It basically tells you how to clean up the board and change for the next season. So you kind of will seed your deck by putting down, all right, winter has ended, that's the end of the game, put 4 winter cards on top. Then put the fall card, 4 random fall cards on top, so on and so forth. So lots of different choices here of things you can do. Then we've got some of the mine cards. So these are going to be the level. The higher you go up in level, the more bad stuff is that you're going to get, you know, but also the better items you're going to get. And this goes all the way up to, is it 12? Yeah, level 12. And sometimes that could be one of the objectives, is to get to level 12 in the mine. But then no matter what level you're on, there's all these map cards here. Let me separate these out. You can see these all just say maps on the back, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't matter what level you're on, you're just going to randomly get one of these, which, you know, gives you various things, but you're basically rolling 2 dice and picking. So say you roll a Starfruit and a JoJo guy, you can either end up with the skull or you can end up with the skull. Or say you roll 2 hearts, you're stuck with this mine event. And so that's how that works. And then last but not least, we have a smattering, and this is what I feel like could definitely use an expansion. There's 4, and we already saw 4 more. So you're always going to be using half of these, but these give you some of the objectives you need to finish. These are always going to be open information from the start of the game, and so a lot of times you can see what these are and then pick your professions, because if you have raise animals, you may want to be the farming profession, or if you have explore the mine, you might want to take the mining profession. The legendary fish, take the fishing profession. So but I could definitely see more of these adding to the replayability of the game. Last but not least, we have all of our smaller cards. So these are going to be your, I keep calling them packages, but bundles. And so you'll basically just pick, you know, one for the boiler room, one for the vault. But you can also switch these out. If you feel like it's impossible to reach one of the bundles to complete one, you can spend a heart to throw it out for a new one. You have items and epic items. I'm not going to go through all these, but you can see here, like there's an example of the epic item. Allows you to spend 2 gold to re-roll a Stardew die, or to just roll a Stardew die and gain, if you roll that guy, you gain a heart token. Sure, why not? And then things like here, you can discard during your turn to execute any end of turn effect once for free. Rain totem, discard to water all crops, things like that. You have your tools, and then it tells you how to, here's your starting tool, and then you will start upgrading it. So here's your level 0, then your level 1. You have to spend this to upgrade, and then it tells you, this basically lets you pick, you know, if you get the Iridium Axe, you basically get to pick what you roll. And so you have fishing rod, hoe, and watering can. Those 4 professions for starting to, but you don't have to. You could be the fishing professional and then start with a pickaxe, because then whoever your profession is, then you're going to get to choose every turn. You'll flip over 2 of these, and sometimes they're even double-sided, and this is going to give you like asymmetrical player powers, which I think is really cool, and there is a ton of these. So again, just adding to the replayability of the game. Then we've got events that may show up on the round card or season card, and mine events, which may come up if you appear in the mine. All right, and that's going to do it. So in our next video, I'm going to keep these separate because I think a lot of people have seen an unboxing of Stardew Valley, but I don't think a lot of people have seen how it all fits back in the box with the new insert. So in our next video, we're going to do a reboxing of all of this content into the new insert, and then we'll start on our normal how to play videos and a solo, probably 2-handed playthrough. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell icon so you can be notified when more of this Stardew Valley content hits the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.